Well, greetings and salutations, people who's watching this podcast. Welcome to the 11th episode, sorry. And if you guys see something different, it's because we have changed our whole layout. So, to my left is the first time member on a panel, Soham.
Hello.
Soham, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
And to a right is your boy Ratz.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, man? Welcome to the live offline video. I said live, didn't I?
Yeah, we did that offline.
I just realized I started making puns without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Okay? And
Oh god.
so we basically turned up. We saw your feedback after the 10 podcast, and many of you requested for a face cam so that you could see a face. I don't know why, but so we've done it. Admittedly, our face cams aren't at very high quality, but you requested it, so it is here. And a lot of people said to change up the roster as well. So Soham is here, and it's just 3 people. If you notice, Arnab was supposed to be here, but he's paid DLC. So if you ever want to give us money, you will unlock Arnab eventually,
Yeah.
and he will be on the podcast.
we Asidcast arts now, boys.
Yeah, all my friends are DLC. Anyway, so Soham, first time on the podcast. How has it been, dude? How have you been, bro?
Well,
past
it's been
week?
great. My day has been amazing. Actually, I just came back from Black Panther, which was, I think, a really good movie. Definitely a must-watch for everyone in the Marvel cinematic universe. And yeah, it's been a pretty good week also. Definitely.
So
We've had,
when you went,
Okay.
nothing. I just wanted to know what.
Wait, you went robotic.
So, we're pretty much lagging a bit, I suppose. But I wanted to know, what did you like specifically? Just give me a 2-minute rundown of what you enjoyed about Black Panther and what you didn't.
Black Panther, I think the action scenes were fantastic and the music score was beyond this world. I think it was easily the best Marvel movie till date in terms of its music score.
Kendrick Lamar with the music, didn't he?
Kendrick Lamar made the songs and there was another guy for the music. I forgot his name. I had kept it recorded. My bad. And what I didn't like about it were a few moments of passivity in the entire movie, in which it just felt like the entire story slowed down and it did not progress as much at the speed as which you would want it to be, honestly. Yeah, that's
Okay,
about it.
so it takes its own good time to get the
Yeah,
plot
it does
unraveled.
take its own good time. The plot unravels rather slowly, in my opinion. It could have been much faster. There's not a lot of content in terms of story. However, it does make up for the action and the CGI effect that the Wakandan tribe has. You know. So
You said action. I'm really excited about action specifically. I might have cut off there, but yeah, I might have said that I'm excited for the action when you said, because so have you seen Ryan Coogler's previous movie Creed?
no.
Oh, because there's this amazing boxing match where he gets really close, upfront and personal between these two boxers. And I'm pretty sure it's edited, but I swear it looks like the whole fight is taken in one shot. And it's so intense. So when you say that the action scenes are breathtaking, I don't doubt you there. And I really hope you would check up. You should check up Creed as well. Yeah, tell
In
me.
fact, just to add to what you were saying regarding the 1v1 fight, I believe there are two or three exceptional scenes in the movie itself, and there's a really good 1v1 fight taken entirely from a cinematic point of view, from a direction point of view, from the music's point of view. There are 1v1 fights which are really good.
Oh, sweet. Well, I'm going to be watching it tomorrow morning first thing, and I hope Arnab will too. Unless he's a casual Marvel fan, he'll reveal his true colors then. And we will be doing a live Black Panther. Wait, this is not going to go. You guys are not going to see. You guys got to see much before that. Yeah. Anyway, so what was happening is now we have Ratz,
Yo.
who hasn't been on a podcast for quite a day,
Yeah.
a week, right?
Yeah,
You weren't there.
It's
for
been a
last
while.
week.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I wasn't there for
It's been a while. What were you up to?
Right, so I met my brother after a really long time. He's going to the US in the month of March, so
Right.
I thought I'd meet him before he leaves, before all his work piles up on him. So I thought, I'll go with him, chill, we'll go out for lunch, have some sandwiches, have a bit of mango as well, all that stuff. It's good, just a normal chill out with your own flesh and blood, pretty much.
Ooh, really nice. Anyway, you needed that break, man. You've been having quite a rough time with
If there's anyone who needs a break, it is.
Yeah, it is Ratz.
Yeah, I've been streaming double time ever since, I think, since last month, like the end of last month, Jan, like 30th or something like that. I've been just testing out various streams, and it's actually helped a lot too. So I think I might actually go with that. Plus, do daily video content offline for my page, as well as help Asidcast whenever needed. Because
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, but it's mostly on YouTube that you do your thing, right?
Yeah, so I've also shifted closely to Facebook because, like as you guys are watching this video on Facebook and also on YouTube, Facebook too has its very wide, a very wide audience, which I would like to cater to as well, and kind of bring them to YouTube, bring the YouTube guys to Facebook, kind of level them, get them on the same boat, just to see how it goes. It's just a test. I'm just playing around with it, experimentation and whatnot.
Yeah, another question I wanted to ask you, Ratz, is because lately it's just a trend. I don't know if it's a trend, but it's just something I'm noticing that quite a lot of people are shifting to Twitch in India, which somehow I don't really understand. But do you see yourself doing that anytime soon?
Well, like a lot of people are switching it, turning to Twitch. I think most prominently the fastest growing YouTube channel for CS:GO, Meow16K, Saloni Pawar. Like she has made an announcement, like an update videos that she's going to go full on Twitch, like playing CS:GO there, and I think she's garnered like 1,000 followers so far already. And see, for me personally, I'm not going to Twitch just yet. I am streaming on Twitch in the weekends. Like, I want to play around with each and every platform out there. I don't want to just stick to one platform and be like, okay, I'm the king of this platform. I just want to stream wherever I can. Who knows? You might see me streaming on Azubu, Hitbox, or whatever sites that can come up on your mind. I'm just playing around with all that. But Twitch, I won't go completely to Twitch just yet, till they get the servers in India. And the reason why is the servers actually, I believe in viewer experience. I don't want the viewer to continuously watch a buffering video, and in a country like India, not many people have good ISPs, right? It's like, take it for example, I have an 85 Mbps connection. I cannot watch a single Indian Twitch streamer. I can't even watch my own streams at 160p whenever I get transcoding options. That's kind of messed up. So I would actually like that, not the transcoding options, like not the quality options. I would like a very seamless, smooth experience watching, streams. Of course, my internet dies from time to time, but I want to get that smooth. I want to watch it like how I watch these.
Silky smooth, like Bhutha,
yeah, like
kind of thing.
Silky smooth, yeah, pretty much.
Silky smooth. Okay, now let's stop that. But I completely relate with what, because I was just trying to watch Ryze's stream for Shadow of the Colossus. Because I just could not control myself, right? I need to watch.
I know you're an SOTC fan. I know you're an SOTC
fan. Yeah.
A big one, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it was unbearable. Like, it was buffering, it was barely loading and something like that. And I'm like, I put it on Twitch chat there. I'm like, I really want to do this, but so there is something between. There is a huge gap between us that's not letting me like enjoy this, and I'm not enjoying this. So I'm out of there, and which has me confused as to why this whole thing is happening.
I could shed some light on that, honestly. Regarding a lot of Indian people shifting to Twitch instead of YouTube, which I would say is where the audience of India is located, given the internet's condition and the internet infrastructure. I believe it is majorly the incentives that the streamers are getting, not from the audience, but from Twitch India itself. As we have seen, there have been Twitch India and Red Bull meetups. The Twitch Indian staff is making a diligent effort to increase their awareness of their product.
Yeah, I've actually been...
And certainly, if you want to compare the incentives that the Twitch streamers have in terms of audience and in terms of what they're getting as royalty from the company, I would definitely say that the reason for this enormous shift that we are seeing is on the latter, not the former. What do you have to say to that, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I've also heard that Twitch India is working on a lot for this year. They've got a lot of plans, a lot of meetups. They want to get feedback from the audience and all. What Soham stated. But if they get there, so like I have actually told this to everybody. The day Twitch India makes the announcement saying, "Hey, we got servers," people can finally watch Twitch streamers from India seamlessly
without getting shit.
Without getting buffer, without any buffering, stuttering, or any lag or whatsoever. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna make a video, be like, guys, I'm off to Twitch. See ya later, and I'm gonna walk away. Like I'm not gonna walk away. I'm gonna basically jump the train, the hype train or whatever it is.
Yeah, I know, right? Like again, you want to make sure as said, right? Yeah, it's not about the trend. It's all about giving the best experience to the people,
Exactly.
and I believe that. Yeah, and I believe that's what you need, a robust platform right now for your country, especially the local country, for delivering that. And I suppose we're still waiting for Twitch to fix that. And
that deliberate shot.
I don't know whether it is supposed to be sad that most of the streamers are opting for this option instead of catering to the audience. Is there a debate that we could have that, or is it just entirely their choice? We don't.
This is where human hubris comes in.
Selfishness.
It's not selfishness. It's very understanding. It's the hubris, right? It's like, dude, I mean, if you were in that position and you were offered that, our minds would completely change. I mean, I'm not a streamer with that kind of mindset right now, so I don't know how that person might be. It might completely make sense to that person, but not to us. When we see from broader perspective, we can make the comment like, yes, this is kind of not making a lot of sense, but then again, perspectives matter.
Yeah.
But
that's one of the reasons why. That's why I'm staying silent right now. I'm a streamer, so I kind of know a little bit of this, but I'm slowly getting into that. But I want to also switch around.
Your emotions play a lot of factor into this as well. And as we always know, and as Soham has read Thinking Fast and Slow, emotions always override. Override thoughts. Right. So, but that is something that we can consider as debate. So, anybody who's watching that, let us know in the comments below what do you think of this recent move of Indian streamers to Twitch, and we will definitely cover this on later on if you guys think it's worth covering, and if we as well think it's worth covering, definitely. So, we will move on to the first thing, and I want to address two things before. Firstly, this whole video is offline. We've already recorded this before, and so there's a bit of a lag here. We're doing this specifically because we don't want the video to break midway, like the last 3 times it happened in the last week. And hopefully we can give a better experience.
I did hear that while I was chilling with my brother, so a lot of shit happened. So yes, I'm here to save the was.
We're getting the best.
Again, we're here to give the best experience, even if it means moving a bit back in terms of technology and stuff like that. But whatever, we hope to get our hardware and everything fixed soon so that we can get back to that eventually. We will, but one step at a time. So the second thing I wanted to say is you might have noticed 3 things were missing in the last podcast. One, of course, was Ratz. Second was a meaningful conversation. And third, guess what? Lootboxes. Yes, they're back in a podcast. This episode.
Is this like the fourth time? I don't even remember.
I'm lost count. So it's either Lootboxes or Destiny 2 or EA. They've been staple things that have been continuous in all our podcasts, and they are there in this podcast as well. So despite the terrible media coverage and everything, companies like Activision-Blizzard and EA, they have been doing pretty well, especially with the microtransactions and loot boxes. Activision-Blizzard especially has reported a revenue of $4 billion from these microtransactions and loot boxes out of their net $7 billion in the last quarter. And if we compare things from last quarter to the one before, their revenues from these live services that they so called has only been increasing, more so than even the initial downloads. And this has been the case not only with Activision, Blizzard too is onto this, in terms of getting the maximum revenues from the live services.
I suppose even EA.
Yeah, of course, EA as well. Despite whatever bad press it has been getting, EA Star Wars game Battlefront 2 has sold really well, and the loot boxes as well have played a lot in the revenue, which kind of makes me sad as well. And it sort of makes me think, firstly, before we get into this topic, how we might not have understood the whole gaming market. Like we keep ranting about loot boxes all the time. It seems like we're only 5% of the people,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, like it's like watching a sport, like a football match, and you pretty much the stadium, and there's this whole world that is watching the football on TV that just does not give a fuck about what's happening. They enjoy the game, they'll pay for it. Seems like that. What do you think? What do you guys think about all this? Like Blizzard, Activision, EA, all making so much money from loot boxes.
First thing what we need to understand is that the community backlash that we have seen, that we saw for EA Star Wars Battlefront 2, is superficial as it is. In fact, the fact that the monetary gains have been increasing, there is absolutely no dissent in it, and that we don't see a lot of uncertainty in where we are going in terms of the community also, where there is complete, passivity in terms of acting upon it, because I guess it is just superficial in its nature. What we get to see is just a tiny percentage that does not have any impact any impact whatsoever on true decisive change, if we are to see any in the loot box theory of video gaming.
Ratz, do you still have something to add to the world of loot boxes that we have been doing?
I mean, that's why we've been talking about this so much, and after hearing the actual numbers, like, where do I sign up? I mean, that 4 billion.
It's kind of depressing, right? Yeah, like, no matter what you do, it's just like this. Yeah, this is how the market is moving.
Yeah, it's like from the good old days.
Give no shit.
Yeah, like the good old days where it used to be count towards the sale of the physical copies to the to the time where it became the sale of digital copies to now microtransactions. What's next? Mini transactions, nano. If you keep going down the the terminology, it could go down.
Yeah,
we never know. A microtransaction. There might be another transaction in that microtransaction. Like how EA pulled it off with that pre-order. I mean, I think EA was just.
You will be playing RPGs, but now instead of the currency in game, you'll be actually using cryptocurrency in real life as all game. This is how they're going.
All right, 2012. When can I get back to you? I would like to go back and enjoy the good old Skyrim coins again.
But let me hold you on that thought again. So I was for a change. Let's just see loot boxes from a different perspective, because I'll have to say, since the last 2 weeks, my perspective on loot boxes has been quite introspected a bit, especially after watching some really good videos, especially from Game Theory and Extra Credits, who have, again, despite how loot boxes have always been there in different forms, where you imagine, right? You back then, when you did not have computer games, you had the Pokemon card.
Yeah, the trading
card.
Right?
You had different booster packs. You had different packs, right? And they were all expensive, right? They were, I think, 150 rupees for like 11 cards that you'd get, and you had no idea about if you'd get a Groudon. You'd have no idea if you'd get a Mewtwo or something like that. But
it was a random chance.
It was random chance, and there were still different packs about theirs, right?
English.
And yeah. See, and that was pretty much a loot box in there if you look at it. But we never saw it in that way as a gambling.
Yeah, the perspective was not there, definitely.
Yeah, see, and again, Extra Credit makes this really strong case where it says that loot boxes has been when used in the right way, can be the best way of regulating the prices of games, because AAA games recently are getting expensive. They're getting more and more expensive today. And keeping them at the price of $60 is a huge strain on people, which is why the loot boxes or microtransactions help them, give them some breathing space. I'm not defending this. I'm just giving this.
It opens up the game to a wider audience.
Right.
By keeping the price in control.
Yeah, and the concept of loot boxes, when used ethically, right? This is the catch. Can help people keep those things low, because again, and this is a sad thing, that there are really rich people who in the gaming industry, there's a specific term for them which makes me real sad. They're called the whales, right? And they're the ones who pretty much and they're the ones who pretty much spend most of the money on these loot boxes. Well, and is this something that we should worry about, where there's this rich community, gorging on the loot boxes, and which is keeping the price at $60 for the rest of the gaming community? I think there's a bit of an argument there. And
that's an excellent argument.
Yeah. So what do you guys have to see when given this perspective?
I mean, it does make a lot of sense if you give that. Actually, it just radically changed my view entirely in a moment. If I were to say that argument. So, like, if you see the progression of loot boxes in Valve games, it has been constant. There have been no changes except in Dota a little, but nevertheless, like if you were to apply that argument to CS:GO, CS:GO is a game that costs 350 rupees. And while it does not require any update, there is no real developers team behind it that is constantly doling out a series of updates. It's keeping the. I mean, there are loot boxes and skins which you spend enormous amount of money on, and I don't think. And there's just a fraction of the percentage of selling it on the market from where Valve makes its money. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like more money for Valve right there.
Yeah, more money for Valve, more power to you as long as the game is kept cheap. But that is if there is a correlation, That is if there is that correlation.
And this is exactly where things get merged. If we noticed when Call of Duty, once people found out the algorithm was when, supposedly if you get a weapon through a loot box or whatever, which was very effective, then the algorithm they had devised was initially they would like pitch you against certain lower foes so that the matchups would be rigged in such a way that you realize how effective that weapon was, right? So that it would create a feeling of
getting that weapon,
the hero marketing that you so detest, Soham, right? So it'll create a craving of that weapon particularly, and apparently once you get that weapon, the algorithm again rigs it so that you are now faced with other people with weapons similar or even stronger than that. So you're always in this perpetual state of either wanting better and never being satisfied, which is the huge loophole that gaming industries have exploited.
I think in a way, like in terms of loot boxes and microtransactions go, like I'm just taking this with Counter-Strike Global Offensive as an example. Like when I used to play that game, I used to play that game a lot, like over 2 years back, and all the designs that Valve picks. So it's like the community, they given their own designs, and Valve handpicks like a few of them. Out of the few, most of them have been very aesthetically pleasing. Right? Some of them have...
and it is important to add that the people who create the content creators for this skin, they get paid eventually.
Yeah, they get royalty from this. They get royalty from
I think Warframe 2 has something similar to this, right?
I think they do. Like one of their, I think the skins, some of the skins or something like that, they do have that thing. But yeah, with the example of CS:GO, like sorry to interrupt you there, Soham. Like it's I think a bit of human psychology also gets into your mind. Right, because every time when I play, like I didn't have any good skins back then, but when there's one of my teammates, he drops out his weapon which has the skin in it, and I have that weapon, I feel like a god and I actually play really well. It's like, it kind of removes that mental block. So I'm like, oh crap, I need this weapon. Let me, put all my money in loot boxes, and try to get that same weapon. Yeah, so it's that. It could be that, that psychological factor that comes into play there, because I have actually seen my own performance when I play with like a fancy, $100,000 knife or something like that against the free default knife that I get. Like there's a huge difference. But again, it's a psychological thing. So I think gaming industry is also exploiting that thing, based on how much you see that item and how much you like it based on its looks and stuff.
Right. So as far as I can see, the debate goes in two ways. Insofar as the base game where you have bought it, there is no coercion, as I would put it, from the company's side to make you buy or invest in a loot box. I guess the game can be ethically sold insofar as the microtransactions don't affect your main gameplay. The same thing goes to CS:GO and Dota 2. You spend a lot on skins, but eventually you need to understand the skins have absolutely no impact on the game as it is. It is just from your side. So there is this distinction that you have to make if you are to approach this argument. What do you have to say?
Yeah.
So again, Ratz, do you have anything to say to that?
Nothing much. I mean, that's the one thing, because it does have that psychological impact. Because I mean, the whole point of loot boxes is cosmetic value. I mean, it doesn't affect gameplay at all unless the game is a pay-to-win game, right? Otherwise, and most microtransactions are always focused on fun, aesthetically pleasing and cosmetic value and looks. That's all it matters. Even like every game nowadays, Fortnite, PUBG, CS:GO, Dota 2, you name it. Even this new game that came out, Battalion 1944, it came out like I think 3 weeks back. right? And there is one particular skin for the weapon which basically makes it look like a cheetah skin, and that actually goes for
Right.
20,000 rupees on the Steam market. I think it must have gone up right
Right.
now, the price. So again, it comes on all aesthetic, like the looks of the weapon itself.
Right. Well, but we all agree. Okay, these are all great and stuff. But I think there is a case that we all agree there should be some form of regulations done to see if everything is being practiced within the ethical standards that we consider safe. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
In which case, I guess all of you must be happy with the next topic that I have, which is countries, after the whole Star Wars Battlefront fiasco, have started to take notice of the whole loot box concept. And they are looking into this and considering where to draw the line. Is it gambling or not? Especially, So I'm talking about countries like Germany and Sweden have come in public and said that, yes, we are looking into this. Right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
Sweden is currently saying that this is a statement by the Swedish consumer protection laws, one of the person representative. It's like, we are working to regain control of the gambling market as soon as possible and to make sure that the Swedish consumer protection laws apply to all actors which conduct gambling activities, he said. But then again, they're still not sure as to where to draw the line. So in Sweden, as far as it's considered, it's still in talks. Whereas in Germany, I believe the people are looking into this, then they say they will look at it as a case-by-case basis. Case-by-case as in per game. They don't know if a universal law on loot boxes can be applied because games are so different and their use of loot boxes are so different. And also, they're like, at the very least, there should be a regulation and there should be an ESRB age rating included if it contains loot boxes, which surprisingly it does. But I think, again, ESRB ratings are very, 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 very muddled. I think as far as I know, they have their hands dirty with several developers. But then again, that's me. Okay, that's me. I don't know. I don't have insider knowledge on that. But the best case is from Hawaii. All right, always the best people. Hawaii have actually passed a pair of bills. All right. I'm not kidding. They've actually passed a pair of bill. The first bill says that games with loot boxes will be required to disclose that upfront, and will also have to publish the exact drop rates of items in the loot boxes.
Oh, okay.
Similar to the rules that China have passed in the games.
Exactly.
China does have that,
I wanted to bring that into.
Same here.
So I think what China had to say regarding Overwatch and Dota 2 was really good. The entire idea was that fine, you can conduct loot boxes, you can take you can basically do that as long as you reveal what are the percentage for chances of each of the
item,
contents. Each of the contents of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and the second bill, just let me finish this whole thing. Okay, so the second bill would flat out bar the sale of loot boxes games to anyone under 21 years old. A loot box game is anyone that offers a randomized in-game reward of real life money. So this is being done by the state rep called Chris Lee. Really cool guy. Like, he's on YouTube. You guys can watch him.
Nice.
He drops movie references in all his speeches, like legislative speeches, right?
Wow,
I am literally not kidding. He quoted Terminator. I'm not kidding. He quoted Terminator. Like, he's like, "Come with me if you want to live in a future without."
Wow.
Did you just quote the Terminator in the legislative speech? I'm like, wow. Yeah, you've been the internet. So this is what he had to say. He's like, I grew up playing games my whole life, and I watched firsthand the evolution of the industry from one that seeks to create new things to one that's begun to exploit people, especially children, to maximize profit. So hence, like, the state of Hawaii is very actively scrutinizing the loot box case. And Chris Lee basically says that at the very least, he hopes to bring awareness to this case so that every country at least knows that something like this is happening. This is
pretty cool.
Yeah, good stuff. Like, what do you guys think about all of this?
That's actually good stuff.
That is the initial response that I believe any or every government gives. That is one of awareness, and the second of a responsibility that they have towards the children. And I think that is pinpoint accurate with what he had to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, now whether he takes it a step further and goes to outright ban it or place with age restrictions, which I don't think, in my opinion, would do a lot.
But it's just so much better to hear than a straight up article that says games promote gambling.
Yeah.
It's just so good. At least that part of the movie.
I mean, the mainstream media has pursued such titles, definitely, and that is something that should not happen, obviously, for obvious reasons. That's not how the gaming industry works. It's not a gambling industry. There's a difference in letters and in the word. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So you did mention that they are looking forward to, like the second bill is basically, they cannot sell this game to people below the gambling age, which is 21, right?
Right.
Which I think a lot of publishers will be highly against, but if
very much against,
they will be,
that kills the whole Call of Duty crowd.
Exactly, that kills not just the Call of Duty crowd, it actually kills all their sales, because if you notice the gaming population, like if you take it in, the average set of gamers, it's 18 to 24, right? The ages of 18, 19, 20 cannot, this is splitting half of their audience right there from 18 to 24.
And yes, 15 to 18 are the budding consumers as well, right?
From the age of 16
on. 18 represent.
Yeah.
Right here.
Exactly. So no more, no more CS:GO Dota for you, fam. If the law gets passed.
No more whales being born.
No,
I don't.
Also, see, so that is where the publishers will be pissed. So, but. And also, I think that's also a happy thing for the parents, because if you notice in a lot of countries where this law doesn't exist, kids, especially in America, there's no such thing as a one-time password like what we have. We are lucky that way. So if I was, let's say for example, if I was
I'm so annoyed by that thing, by the way, right? I realized when Sony, I'm just like clicking buy by mistake, and it just buys the product, and I'm like,
exactly.
God, please, a little warning next time.
Exactly. So OTP is kind of that warning, but they don't have that in places like America and Europe. So let's say if I was a dad in US, I have a little toddler, and he just takes my credit card and buys the most expensive knife in CS:GO or something like that. That's a lot of money lost, gone from my bank account.
Holy shit!
That shit like that.
It has happened.
It has happened.
But that's been very rare cases. But it has happened.
It has happened. Yes. Like people have sent like large amounts of donations to various streamers with their dads and moms.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
so there's no such thing as an
This just sounds so stupid from an Indian perspective, right?
I'm actually glad we have the OTP system.
Yeah, exactly.
So in a way, if someone complains to me like, oh my god, what the fuck, yaar, this OTP thing, I'll be like, dude, shut up, it's good. You don't want to pay.
I'm certainly thankful that for the 30 seconds I spent waiting for that OTP.
You probably
no, really, it's very annoying because the Sony, like I said, the PS4 thing, you attach your credit card, it does not ask OTP at all, and I was so confused the first time. I was like OTP, like should I just like click a buy? I wonder what happens. Next thing you know, it's credited, it's gone. You bought the game.
The same thing for Steam games as well as Origin games. Like Origin, even though it has Indian even though both these platforms have Indian currencies, nope, no OTP. Screw you, fam. You bought this, it's all yours. It's like the confirmation is that checkout. That's the confirmation. Like, are you sure? That's it. It
does not make sense. That does not make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good conclusion, I guess.
Thank God for this.
So the next one is something I want to. Firstly, great topic. I'm so glad we ended on a very positive. Yeah, at least for once. But the next one is something we're all going to crack up at. All right. Here's your weekly reminder that UCypher sucks. This time UCypher had they done fucked up. They've taken it to an international level. So in the morning, people have woken up and they were uploading videos on Tekken 7, and they realized they're being removed by due to copyright claims by guess who?
MTV India.
MTV India. Exactly. So again, Twitter's just like, so it looks like MTV India is blocking Tekken videos and streams on YouTube. And this is not just the streams, that's the worst part. This is not just Tekken videos in India. This Tekken videos all across. MTV India is just removing them. It just filed copyright claims and it's been removing them. And Rishi Alwani from NDTV has been apparently constantly reaching out to MTV India, and they're giving him no response. So
Also, yeah.
I don't know what's happening here.
Also, yeah. Before you guys ask, don't worry. My Tekken 7 live stream archive videos are safe. I have not gotten a mail so far. I have not gotten any mail.
Nice.
So I'm in the clear. I mean, if UCypher is watching this, though, please don't. Thanks. I just don't. I mean, I don't care if you take.
Next target, Ratz.
Oh, that would be sad, fam. Then I get a copyright strike. There'll be a small red mark on my 3 circles there. It's like, oh, it's an X. I'm like, crap. 90 days, no content. There goes my plans.
Yeah. Regarding this topic, I mean, you don't know where to start, you don't know where to end.
Exactly.
Just such a big quagmire of mess.
God, UCypher is a gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, and reminder, we have the Asidcast Discord weekly shit posting set to UCypher. Please do check that out. We'll drop the link in the description. Anyway, that being said.
Might as well plug in your own shameless esport podcast while you're at it.
And we do have an esport podcast with me and that's where we dished on UCypher for an entire 40 minutes. You should go watch that. We will drop the link in the description.
Yeah.
Also, for
as a trailer, I would like you to talk shit about UCypher.
Also, as
Okay,
also to add to you to what Soham said, just for the lulz, I'll stream Tekken 7 just for the lulz to see what happens. I just want to know.
Tekken 7 stream. Let's all just have a Tekken 7 tournament.
Yeah, let's
just have a tournament.
Put it on YouTube.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Tournament Tekken 7 shit posting happening soon.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway,
winner gets banned.
Yeah, so I'm back. You were. Yeah,
So,
winner gets banned. Sorry, so continue.
Yeah, I mean, we have already covered this topic a lot of times, I suppose, but UCypher is the title itself, first multi-game, multi-platform esports tournament. That itself does not make sense. So, a team dedicated to esports is not dedicated to esports when it makes such claims. And I think this entire perspective that we argued in the podcast, where it is essentially a reality show, not an esports show, and they can they can make the entire show devoid of all esports content and still have their streak, which is something that all esports enthusiasts need to understand. They need to stop rallying to their cause, as UCypher, which is going to bring something good for the scene. And that being said, we just see more proof for the entire argument that we had in the podcast, where so yeah, they have there's complete disregard for esports as a tournament.
Yeah, are you telling them to come clean and be honest with themselves?
I mean, their actions speak for themselves. There's no point in them coming in honesty. It's just on us, on the community, to spread awareness regarding them and hope for a better future where our people are more aware and more smart regarding what decisions they want to make, regarding who they promote, regarding what they want to do, regarding who they want to show as their masiha, their savior. This is something that has been characteristics of Indian esports for a very long time. First, there were, and I don't mind going into the controversy now. There was Ben Verghese.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yes, sorry. Again, I'm stopping you. Continue, my friend.
Then there was ESL India, who came with a lot of pomp and gaiety. They did not live to their expectations. Today, we have UCypher. There's absolutely no change in this pattern. What we need again today, yesterday, and tomorrow from our side is more awareness from the community. That's it. That's all what we want to pursue as Asidcast, and that's what we should all head towards as a unifying goal. That's about it.
Great sell speech, great hook, my friend. But again, to bring back to topic, why copyright YouTube streams and videos?
I wouldn't be surprised if it just was a technical gap which they did not give any.
Probably, yeah.
Give any shit to.
And that too, not just not just Indian content creators, but also international content creators, which puts us at a bad spot. Because this coming from
there is no logical sense to it. I don't see any good reason for them to act on this. The only reason could be complete disregard for technical.
Right, and god damn, a technical. I'm just saying, a technical miss would be very, 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 very valid. And if I was the person at UCypher, I certainly would not want to come out and say that, but whatever. Yeah. And which is why I guess nobody's
you need to give a statement that is very important.
You do need to give a statement I don't like.
Yeah, we done.
And UCypher.
They did.
God damn it, UCypher, fix your shit. You have power cuts happening there. You have people punching each other. You have a lot of things to worry about.
People punching each other.
Okay.
What does that 100 crore budget do? Anyway, sorry, Ratz, you were saying something.
No, I mean, so this would actually put us at a very bad, like at a bad spot already. Like if you guys remember,
It already does.
yeah, it's already does. Like, see, if in terms of esports, I think in 2011 or 2012 there was this Indian gaming carnival in Noida. I think Soham knows.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, he knows.
Yep,
He knows
yep,
about this,
yep.
where they hosted like a 3 crore event, like a huge ass event. They hyped it up, and they got like 2 international teams. When at the end of it, they kind of they set up.
Messed up the entire set.
They shut down the entire thing, robbed the international teams, which made all these international esports news websites covered it, and India got a freaking bad name. Like, it was shameful, it was bad, and that was one.
Yep.
And we actually hoped that nothing would ever happen, and it didn't go so far. And now we are in a world where digital, content creators, they're struggling hard to make a living out of making videos. And if there are videos that are like Tekken 7, like Tekken centric, and if they get copyright claims on all the videos, that hey, MTV India comes and just knocks on the door and be like, hey man, guess what, you get a copyright strike, that could end their career.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. I imagine a guy like spending months to just like completely perfect the move with Hiachi or some other character, Akuma or anything, and he just breaks down a 17-minute analysis video with all sorts of editing gadgets and everything, worked the whole 2 weeks for it, uploads it, taken down by copyright, thanks UCypher. Like, come on, man!
It's like everything that they've built up on, like that the years, maybe the months, that the 1 year they've taken to build up that, their reputation or whatever they have, content they have for Tekken 7, just shattered in like a snap of a finger. That's gonna suck for them, and people are gonna look at India and be like, okay, we need to see which game India's playing now. Oh shit, they're playing this game, let's avoid that game. Like, okay, I'm out of here. Like, that could happen. So I mean, this is not just a goof move that UCypher did for their own PR. They basically almost, I don't know if they completely fucked us over yet, because I hope whatever these guys are doing, that they're hopefully all of this shit is resolved, because if it's not, then UCypher done goof. Like,
and I'd like to just add one small point before we move ahead. The 8 captains who we have in UCypher, if they have any shred of commitment left to esports and to the Indian scene and to its image, they should push MTV India to give a statement regarding why they did this. That's, I think, imperative.
Challenging to call. Soham challenging a call to action from other people.
No.
Soham throwing down the glove, my friend.
Yeah, you can say like that. But yeah, they have an imperative to the community, to the international scene, and to India's image on why MTV did this, how could this happen from their side, and what statement do they have to say in their defense.
Again, you bring a very interesting point, but again, when you say community, and now with the whole first thing when you talk about microtransactions still doing well, and I'm starting to again ask myself the question: are we as a community the 5%? What is the majority of the crowd thinking of UCypher? Do you know anything like that?
Okay, see, the problem is I'm in a echo room. Essentially, I am surrounded with people of similar thoughts. So
exactly, that's the thing.
Yeah. So it's of no. I would say it's not weird for me to say that people I know have generally been opposed to UCypher. In fact, my next guest to the esports podcast, I won't tell his name. He will be shedding a lot of light on the backseats of what happened in UCypher and what forms are given and what signs they had to do for being a part of it. Anyways, but yeah, there's this echo room in which I am in. Nevertheless, what I've seen is on YouTube, they have a lot of dislikes, almost always.
Yeah.
The only time when I could firsthand experience a point where there was some weird support for UCypher was in the punching photo, if you remember, of Team Brutality's Venom, where he showed.
It's a UCypher shitpost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially what would happen, just for the viewer who is coming for the first time, there was a punching photo and it was basically a drama they had recreated. And what I saw astonishingly, I was hoping in the comments that he would get trashed for this, but nevertheless, what I saw was a few agitated fans who took it literally and were cursing the opponent team and their captain. So what you had essentially was a complete herd mentality, I would say.
Yeah, it's more mentality.
Yeah.
Exactly what UCypher wanted to cultivate.
Exactly what UCypher wants. Exactly the audience that is the reality show audience.
Yeah.
So I was appalled in the first instance regarding how could even be such people. But nevertheless, I should be a little down to earth here.
Which is why, like, when you realize the prospect of what is happening,
TFW, you realize, man.
When you realize things are going well, but it is scary though. And great point. Like, we will be discussing, of course, Soham is the person who will be discussing more in his coming podcast. I hope, I will see.
Please
and
do
you all should check. You should check that out.
Also, another plugin, Discord server, link in the description. The weekly post is going on.
Very important. It's amazing. We're having a lot of fun. I tell you.
We're having a lot of like home baked memes, freshly off the pad, straight up. Like, if you want to join that up, right? And we will move on to the next topic. And now we are going to go back to Sony, and especially the security issues with Sony. Not issues specifically, but and FBI. Yes, you heard that right. So FBI had, again, I'll read this article right now. So Sony had just handed over information to the FBI on a PlayStation 4 user who was initially suspected of planning to travel from Kansas to Middle East to fight apparently on behalf of an organization. So this is an article stated by Forbes, and Forbes believes this is the first public case of PS4 data being passed to the cops by the tech giants. It also is the first example of Sony providing data on any of its console users after receiving a government order. So the warrant basically stated that FBI had asked details related to the activities of Aviz Muhammad, I don't know how to pronounce this, who was apparently suspected of traveling to Iraq via Egypt to fight for a terrorist organization, which was called the Strangers. Apparently, this was the term. And if you're not wrong, I think Strangers was a term that was being used in some of the ISIS videos as well. All right. And the application was filed back in May 2017, but only now did we get to know that FBI had actually asked Sony to, give them the information. So through the PSN, they found everything about the console activity, the sales history, as well as device message history for both PS3 and PS4 consoles. And now you might be asking a question: why search PlayStation, right? And so the suspicion seemed to have arose that after the police had interviewed Muhammad's brother, who told them that the suspect had deleted all the information on the PS4, basically, the brother told the investigators some of the other details, including that Muhammad's brother, Muhammad had installed a lock on the door of a garage at the family's home and was very private about the area. And he only had his PS4 inside the garage. And this again links back to the rumor that Sony had, with the unfortunate case of the things in Paris where they had actually told that PS4 were used as a means to communicate, right?
Yeah,
I'm not feeding anything, but yes, this is. I believe it is something that needs to be brought to, in case. Yeah. So the FBI were able to carry out an initial search on the PS4 after Muhammad gave them the permission. So, but that just revealed that the PlayStation had been wiped. So FBI went to Sony and asked them to give them all the details, right? And so Sony basically obviously had all the details, and the FBI eventually tracked him down to Cairo, where he was detained and interviewed by federal investigators. I'm just saying this because the whole story is pretty interesting. There he revealed that he wanted... Hello. Oh, hey. Hi. I think things got cut off again.
Yeah.
Damn you, FBI. Fine, we'll move on to the next topic. So, guys, this is something that hits me personally, and it's something IGN has released an article that has been circulated a lot and is rather misleading, which says that DragonBall Fighter Z has a PC player base that has dropped by 80%. All right. So they said that DragonBall Fighter Z quickly became the most played fighting game in Steam's history with 44,300 active players at launch. All right. Since then, however, the player base has drastically plummeted, dropping by 80%. Now, GitHype Yeah. Now, let me just get to the whole thing, okay? Now,
Okay.
GitHub reports the concurrent player count for the last weekend was just over 9,000 on Steam, meaning that 80% of the PC player base dropped off in 2 weeks. All right. So, this is the article IGN says, and they're like, oh, is this bad for Dragon Ball Fighter Z? Will they like get back up? So they say by comparison, the previous Steam world record holder, Tekken 7, which amassed 18K players on Steam, lost the same percentage. Okay, so that's there. All right. So and it basically paints a grim picture for Dragon Ball Fighter Z. All right. And let me tell you why this is misleading, because a drop of 80% is not for an arcade game is very common actually. Well, because mostly due to many factors. Because firstly, arcade game requires a decent chunk of skill, like learning curve, and it's a solo based game, right? It's not where somebody can carry you and you like have the learning game together with those people. It's pretty much you online, all right? And Dragon Ball Fighter Z, despite having the biggest concurrent players in the start, still is the number one most played fighting game. It has on Steam. Now you can check it up. That's where it stands. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. All right. So currently, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, again taken from 1 minute, had a 24-hour peak players of 6,700, all-time peak of 44,230. All right. And I will. This is on Steam, by the way. In comparison, I will show Tekken 7 has a 24-hour peak player base of 2,400 and an all-time peak of 18,800. Okay, nowhere close to. Okay, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition has a 24-hour peak audience of concurrent players of 1,600 and an all-time peak of 13,800. All right. Now, here's where I'll give you the question. Guess the 24-hour peak concurrent players of Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
26,000.
Okay.
Oh, wait. 24-hour peak.
1,000.
24.
Oh, no, wait. They would be much famous, right? 50,000? Okay, I'm going for 50,000.
Wait, that's 50,000 for a 24-hour peak.
Yeah, 24-hour peak. 50,000.
I just said 44,000 peak concurrent players for an arcade game ever. That was Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Oh.
Come up with 50,000. Such a Soham thing to do. That
Boy. Okay, then 1,000, I guess.
Okay. Should I reveal it to you?
Wait, 1 second. I want to give my my guess. Fuck. 4,200.
Okay. I'm going to reveal it to you. 4,000. Its all-time peak is 3,500. So it's not 24, and its 24-hour peak is 34 players.
What? Oh my god.
Wow.
Confirmed flop that game.
Holy shit.
In fact, an indie arcade game, I forgot its name, has a higher peak thing. So these are the stats, and you can tell all of these combined are still lower than Dragon Ball Fighter Z's current stats going on.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow. So despite what despite IGN painting such a grim picture, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is doing brilliant, even without the whole Indian market.
Above brilliant.
Yeah,
definitely.
Above brilliant. It even without, and it's not even released in India on Steam.
Yeah, it's not. It's not available.
Wow. You don't know where to begin only with such a story. God
damn it, India. But I'm sure. I think with the popularity of Dragon Ball Fighter Z, it will be like, I don't know, some form like this. It should make its way to Steam markets. Obviously, arcade has a bigger base in console, but I definitely do believe that Dragon Ball Fighter Z should be on Steam, because basically, come on, Wes, this is the best way to bring Indian audience back into arcade by a franchise that holds so much value to the audience. But that being said, I'm just happy. I just wanted to bring this clarity to everybody who's thinking, oh my god, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is... But no, it's not. It's currently doing better than any other arcade right now. So guys, take it away if you guys have anything to add.
I mean, nothing. I'm not a big.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not big on.
Nothing really.
I mean, I'm just disappointed that the most played fighting game on Steam is not available in India. Like, I'm genuinely
That's kind of
disappointed.
sad.
Yeah, I'm genuinely
I like
disappointed.
playing Mortal Kombat. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
go for the essential skill cover as such. It's just fun between two people, that's all. And
Yeah.
I remember having Tenkaichi Budokai, I mean, the Naruto thing and the Dragon Ball thing. I played a lot of it in childhood on the PS2. So that, yeah.
I
was
remember.
actually
I
good.
still remember Soham said Naruto
Oh,
Budokai
God.
Tenkaichi on the 20th.
The Ultimate
Never
Ninja
forget.
Storm should happen. Ultimate Ninja Storm. I remember now.
Naruto Budokai.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I really want this to be brought to stream because again, from everything I've experienced and I've played a bit of it, it is the definitive. It just feels right. It's everything you dreamed of when you watched Dragon Ball Z and thought like this would be so awesome as a game, and this is
Yeah.
the exact
This is the aim
realization
now.
of that dream. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
exact realization of that dream, and we're so glad to actually have this. And I believe that it is one of the major games that we played in Evo 2018, the Arcade International Tournament. I guess we should do a live reaction for that so that we can gain more. Bring this more to the audience, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess we'll move on
That's
to the
a
next topic,
representation.
which is the spiciest part of our podcast, which is the rumor mill. And this should excite Soham because
Okay.
the first rumor that we have states that Disney is thinking of ditching EA when it comes to the Star Wars IP and is looking at other options. It says that Bob Iger, was okay. So clarifying, which saying so Disney was not involved in the removal of microtransactions, by the way, which I definitely thought was not the case. I don't think they would do that. But they definitely were not pleased with the way it was received, especially during such a crucial time when Star Wars: The Last Jedi released as well, and it wasn't exactly the most unanimously loved Star Wars movie. Very, very divisive movie, and the franchise is has quite divided audience, and EA is not helping the case. So, with so much troubles, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney would be looking at other options. But I don't know how the contract works. However, this has me more excited. But the same piece of article says that the other companies EA is looking for to tie up with are Disney, Ubisoft, and Activision.
Wow. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. Disney.
Out of the frying pan into the boiling pot. Huh?
Wait.
Exactly.
Wait. Wait. Just quick. I just have a quick query. When you said Disney wants to tie up with Activision, does that also include Blizzard? Because Activision and Blizzard do have like a
I don't think it would include Blizzard.
Yeah.
It does not make sense.
It doesn't
It would not be
make sense.
Activision
It's not stated, but I don't know. Firstly, it's all.
I don't think Blizzard
it's
would
not
go for a
stated.
franchisee that moves out of their competence. I mean, not competence.
Yeah.
the comfort zone.
General purview, as you would say.
Yeah.
They have
don't know.
done an incredible job with Warcraft and StarCraft, but these are home brews, You
Yeah.
do not
True.
Yeah.
bring the same
Yeah.
level of expertise and technicalities to something that would come from the outside.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it would not make sense for me, honestly, if Blizzard were to take up that case. In terms of Ubisoft, I would say they did, from what I've heard, they've done a pretty swell job with Assassin's Creed Origins.
They've done a
You're
great
awesome
job
with
that.
Asidcast, yeah. Wes.
Now you know it, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
where the quality comes
see,
from.
that's why I'm wearing my hoodie. Like a Asidcast. Yeah. Ubisoft.
That's why. Pay up some money and you will unlock Arnab as the paid
So-
Ubisoft boy in house.
Yeah, he is the Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We can
So
Yeah.
I would say it would be interesting if Ubisoft took it up. It would definitely open a lot more pathways that weren't with EA. EA, while it had it for a long time, and I think Star Wars Battlefront was pretty good. Its multiplayer was really good. I didn't play it too, simply because it was way too operation, but nevertheless. Ubisoft generally has charged a little less, and I would say Ubisoft help also goes a long way because they put on Steam their games, and I'm not a big fan of Origin and the platform. But yeah, I would say interesting times are ahead of us. That's it.
Yeah. I would definitely pick Ubisoft among the three people. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
same
pick
here,
any
same
of the
here.
two, but yeah,
Ubisoft
Activision
seems-
with the Destiny 2 have completely lost me. Whatever
Okay.
they're doing, yeah, the whole Eververse thing is pretty bullshit.
Ratz,
I
what
would
about
just
you?
say,
Oh, you.
yeah,
Hello.
yeah,
Yeah.
listen to you. I
Yeah.
hear you.
I was slowly DCing. Yeah, you guys all went robotic on me, but that's okay. We're back. So not much needed there. But yeah. So I would pick Ubisoft. Also, even if you talk about all the three companies, like you got Activision, you've got EA, and you've got Uplay. I mean, Ubisoft. Each of them have their own unique platforms, like their own standalone platforms.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something worth mentioning, but I mean, it's kind of there.
That is definitely worth mentioning because if there's any, let's get it, Star Wars sells, all right?
Yeah, it does.
And that'd be a good property to have on
Yeah.
your side if you want to promote. your
Also,
Yeah.
it's a very interesting take to imagine, Disney having having a say in Tom Clancy's series, something that's based off the books, and Ubisoft, being the guys who have, nurtured and released most of the. Actually, I think all the Tom Clancy games have been Ubisoft published, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
it'll be interesting to see Disney's take on that as well. Maybe for the next Tom Clancy game that comes out, based off another one of those
Wait,
books.
where the whole you lost me. Take on Tom Clancy.
I mean, I don't know. I just thought of Tom Clancy when Ubisoft came into the picture. So
Okay,
Right.
no, I don't know. Disney won't be taking stance in Ubisoft's games. By the way, that's not the thing. They're just gonna give.
that would work.
Yeah. So before we move on to the next topic, just gonna give you a fantasy thing. Which would be your ideal developing, studio for Star Wars
Oh,
game?
okay. I mean, my heart says Valve, but I know it whatsoever.
yeah, you're a Valve fanboy, man. You're
Yeah, I'm a Valve fanboy right from the first.
I'm a Blizzard fanboy, and I would actually want to say Blizzard, but I know that's not gonna happen because Blizzard always does
Yeah,
original
same
IP.
here, man, same here.
Blizzard always does
Yeah.
original shit, even Valve. So I mean, who would better take the Star Wars IP?
Dota 2 very original. Okay, never mind. Yeah, original IPs like Dota 2. Never mind. Yeah, so Rat's still waiting for you.
Not sure which developer would be. I mean, I would actually want to say some Japanese developer name like Sega or whatever. Like, it'd be funny.
Hey, that'd be fine.
It'd be fine.
I mean,
It-
Star Wars drew inspiration from Akira Kurosawa's and others.
Hey, it'll be pretty cool. Let's say they remake the first 6 episodes in like the Japanese anime art, and then suddenly you
my God.
imagine that scene between.
Well, there are samurai movies. It's just lightsabers.
Yeah, I know. It's, no,
Studio.
but also
Yeah.
imagine the Japanese dubs, or even if they actually get Japanese people to act out in the voice the anime or whatever, it'll be like, watashi wa Anakin Skywalker desu, or some shit like that. It'll be pretty funny. It would be pretty funny to watch
Right.
that.
Yeah, that sounds nice. For me, it'd be one of these two. Firstly, Rockstar Games, I think, would do really great job.
Oh
with
yeah,
the Star
they
Wars
did not
universe.
cross my mind.
As an
I think Rockstar would also cross to another IP from their original set of games. But yeah.
One can hope as far, dude. When it comes to Star Wars, everybody just like goes like nostalgic.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
want to
that's
do
true.
something stuff. It's there, and other thing would be Telltale Games has a lot of LucasArts former stuff in it, and I would be surprised. That's going to be a very niche game, but I would love to see one of that. But I'm pretty sure they're going to
But
do one
I-
Star
I-
Wars game.
I mean,
knowing how much they have.
I mean, I think a Telltale game might just kill the aspects. Like, okay, you've got the game. Why have? Okay, actually,
It will just cater to different aspects of
yeah,
Star
actually
Wars.
true. Yeah. There are
Yeah.
many things. True.
It
Yeah.
can be
one-
I mean, correct. Yeah, it can't be the
Yeah.
main story alone. Yeah. I mean,
It
like
can't be the main-
another company that comes to my mind would be Crytek. In terms of graphical aesthetics,
Hmm.
Crytek would actually make it look amazing, and I think
Oh yeah,
like,
Crytek would do a really good
They
job.
would
They've
do-
got good shooters in their back.
Exactly,
Obviously,
yeah.
prices.
and they've got like some really cool mechanics that they can implement. Plus with the
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the,
definitely.
plus-
Crytek actually
Yeah.
sounds really wonderful.
yeah, and also with the Cry engine,
Great.
Cry engine maybe has a
Take it to another level.
exactly like full environmental destruction. That would be really cool. It would actually go up to that large-scale
that
war.
would be- That would be.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
an-
Actually,
that's
painting
good
very good picture.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
It would be pretty cool.
Anyway, yeah, great things. Whatever thing, we should just be right now. We should just hope for it getting out of EA's hand. Guys who are watching this, who do you think would be the best like developing a studio to like take on the Star Wars, if at all? Let us know down in the comments about that.
Yeah.
So with that, we will move to the third rumor, juicy rumor that just came up today, which says that a Call of Duty movie is in the works, and it is going to be directed by the director of Sicario 2 Soldado, called Stefano Sollima. There's a lot of S in the name, but yeah, and it's going to be written by the script will be written by Kieran Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald is possibly known for Fitzgerald. No, it's not. They're not the descendants of the person who wrote The Great Gatsby.
Oh, damn it. God damn it. I was excited.
I know Fitzgerald is a very unique name, but it is not the spawn of Zelda Fitzgerald, right? So, the screenplay for this person wrote the screenplay for Snowden, the Edward Snowden biopic, most famous for. So, guys, Call of Duty movie. What's that even going to be like?
It's just going to be one World War One or two rehash. I mean, something Dunkirkish or behind enemy lines. I cannot think beyond a wartime movie where Call of Duty could improvise on some shit.
Yeah.
I know, right? Exactly. I mean, what would it do that would separate? What would it do that would separate it from other games? Like they'd have to go something weird, like Black Ops or Modern Warfare or something like that.
Yeah, Black Ops actually would be really.
Black Ops would actually be really good in hindsight. The first Black Ops, right?
Yeah,
the one where they get to a fiddle crash and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
They have,
and it fall in line because they're next.
That would be insane.
Actually, and it will fall in line because the next game is going to be Black Ops 4.
Oh, is it?
Is
it confirmed?
Yeah. The next game is going to be Black Ops 4.
Nice.
So it's perfect line if they do a Call of Duty Black Ops, and it'll work as a perfect thing for marketing if they do that.
I mean, see, I would not be, but I would also not be surprised. Like if they probably made a movie that kind of connects the dots between Black Ops 3 to Black Ops 4. That's also a possibility. Like they've got so many things to do. They could even make like a remastered Modern Warfare. Like Modern Warfare is one of my favorite trilogies in Call of Duty. With there was a lot of gap between Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2. They could probably put a movie center, to fulfill that, kind of fix that gap, like how there was that gap between episode 3 and episode 4 with Rogue One, the Star Wars story. So a Call of Duty movie, to fill that gap can also work. And who knows, it could be like a series of like how Star Wars has their own episodic features. Probably a Call of Duty movie, they might plan it like a side story, multiple side stories, like a quick 1 hour half, 1.5 hours to 2 hour feature film, kind of piecing it together with the Call of Duty lore that the fans loved back then, like the Modern Warfare series, the Black Ops trilogy.
Yeah, you've got a point.
Yeah, and also,
Right.
they do need to bring back Ghosts. I mean, that was one game where the ending. I'm still wondering what the fuck happened after that ending. Like, I'm wondering, like, what the hell is going on? Like, where did the brother go? Where did your brother go? Sorry for spoilers, but where did he go? Right?
So where did the brother go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys have played,
that should be the marketing for. Where did you wonder where the brother went? We have answers. Watch this movie. Never mind. But you know what? Actually, what has me excited is Sicario is a brilliant movie by Denis Villeneuve that I really, really love. I have no idea on the new director, but again, I would assume they would have to get someone really, really special to like take over Denis Villeneuve's thing. And Snowden was a pretty rad movie as well. So yeah, there's quite a bit of pedigree behind the movie as well. Look, guess what? I think I just like convinced myself to be excited for this movie. Whatever's happening.
Hey, I mean, I always wanted.
I mean,
Oh yeah, you were saying. You were saying. No, you go. Go for it.
I mean, I'm nevertheless excited because simply there has to be an imperative in them to be more creative regarding making it something that is Call of Duty and something that is not as same as every single wartime movie ever made.
I don't know if a video game adaptation imperative to be creative, my friend.
I mean, see,
I don't. Yeah, that's what gets me excited. Maybe if they go for that, it would be really interesting to see how it pans.
now there is one way for them to make this video game adaptation stand out is to record it in the first person perspective. We have seen.
Oh my god!
Oh no! Please,
No,
No,
get out of here.
no,
Get out
yeah,
of here.
get out
Out of here.
No,
End
what?
the podcast.
What
Please
the-
no. No, that is not.
This has happened. No, by the way, this has happened. It happened in Doom and it sucked.
No, see,
Right?
the one in Doom was complete trash. I'll admit, it was complete trash. It was pathetic. I'm talking about in
Right.
terms of the movie Hardcore Henry, if you guys have seen it. The first-person
Right.
perspective shooting.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. Yeah.
That movie is
That's
like if you
pretty good,
if you
actually.
look at the camera works for that particular movie, it was good. See, screw Doom. The Doom movie, it is trash. I agree with you guys. But I'm saying a first-person perspective on that line. Maybe not too Michael Bay-ish, but more wartime-ish, where you can actually see the guy panting, his vision blurring out.
More Saving Private Ryan. Yeah.
Exactly, like mix up that Saving Private Ryan's
Okay.
realism with that first-person perspective to get that ultimate
makes
immersion.
sense.
Like that's the first-person perspective that they can actually put forward, and that would actually be cool. That would be very cool.
He's got a point.
Bad, actually.
Yeah. So am I back in the podcast? Because I never got out to begin with. Because I'm in control. Who said you guys were in control in the first place?
Ratz pulling out money corner.
My
Anyway.
trump card.
Yeah. So we've got a lot, and this thing slowly transitions us into a lot of, not a lot of, but few more video game adaptation news. And I don't know, this one is bizarre. I don't know if I have to. I just decided to bring this in because Sword Art Online is an anime, which also has a game, but it is an anime based on a video game world. And
Okay.
apparently, Sword Art Online is coming to Netflix, and Netflix is. So Sword Art Online, a game. I'm assuming this was because they assume Ready Player One to be trending. So, which is another thing. Again, executive producer Leah Carlo says neither she nor Netflix. This is interesting. Is interested in a whitewashed edition. This was there in the first line itself. All right. So besides credits ranging from, this producer has worked on Avatar and Shutter Island, and she's the one who has created Altered Carbon. By the way, you guys should check it out.
I've heard of it. I've heard
Pretty
of it.
decent.
Yeah,
It's
there's been a lot of advertisement.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it's aesthetically, it's a very, very, very good looking cyberpunk series, which I think everybody should check
I
out.
like futuristic aesthetics.
Yeah.
Aesthetics.
It's really good. It does a lot of interesting things.
I mean,
It does not.
I
pay off everything.
also want to point out Devilman had some very, very, very nice aesthetics.
Preach, brother, preach.
Very nice
All right?
aesthetics.
So I'm gonna tell you the statement right away. It's like the producer said, let's get the obvious bit out of the way. Sword Art Online is an essentially Japanese property in which Kirito and Asuna, who are both two leads, are Japanese in the television show. Kirito and Asuna will be played by Asian actors.
Yes.
Whether or not that was the question underneath your question, this person, like the producer Calogridis, says to the reporter, it's not a conversation about whitewashing. When I sold it to Netflix, we were all on the same page. They were not interested in whitewashing it, and I'm not interested in whitewashing it. In terms of secondary characters, because the game is meant to be global, the way it's presented in the anime and light novels, there are secondary characters that clearly are from other parts of the world, like Klein and Agil. To me, it's very obvious when you watch it that you're meant to take this game spans the globe. But Kirito and Asuna are very clearly located as kids from Japan and Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken. That is what we will be doing because it is the story. There are, in my mind anyway, much like Major Matogo Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell, defined in part by being seminal characters in an Asian piece of art. That jab there.
Yeah, I saw.
Matogo Kusanagi. That's the first and the biggest thing. This statement just ended with a jab of Ghost in the Shell, clearly referencing to Scarlett Johansson's movie.
Like, wow,
And
that
then,
was-
guys, yeah, what do you have to say?
Now, yeah, Soham, you can go first. Like, I'll take the.
No, you go ahead.
Alright.
I don't have much on anime.
All right, so
Yeah, he does not watch anime.
oh yeah, he's not a weeb like us. He's not one of us.
Right.
Yeah, but see, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, not one of us. Yeah, so for me, Sword Art Online, when my friend introduced it, I love that concept of VR MMORPG, and it would be awesome if there was a live action movie on it. But yeah, after seeing all the recent movies, we've got Avatar, we've got Dragon Ball Z, we've got not Mortal Kombat, sorry, Ghost in the Shell. All of these movies have been whitewashed, right? And they were pretty pathetic. But Sword Art Online, with having that diversity, like the two main Asian leads, we've got Klein probably being played by a Caucasian actor, and we've got Ajal being played by an African American actor. That would be pretty cool. It would be cool to have that diverse, because again, as you mentioned, Sword Art Online is a game that is global, played by everyone from the world. And I would actually, it would be nice if they actually went into all that. But more onto the content of the Sword Art Online, I want to know more about what went through Kirito's mind after the whole Sachi incident, the Black Cats Guild. I think if you remember episode 3, after what happened at the end of the episode, like no spoilers to Soham, because I actually implore you.
Go ahead.
You should watch the anime, because trust me, you will love it. It's on gaming, it's on MMORPGs.
I've got so many animes in my list.
Watch Sword Art Online. I know many people in the.
I have Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah, okay, watch that first.
Watch that first.
Watch that first, and then you go on to Sword Art Online, because you like it as it's into gaming as well. So that's what I like. I mean, I want to know more, because see, if you notice, each episode there is like a huge time gap. I hope the movie kind of covers those parts. Maybe they don't have to; they can rush it in, or if they want to make a trilogy or whatever, be my guest. I don't really care. I mean, more the merrier. I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. And that'll be cool.
It's definitely first of all, I'm not a huge fan of Sword Art. I do that. A TV, if you are adapting an anime, a TV series is the best way to go about it, because of the long form structure of storytelling. Besides anything else, I mean, we've seen it did not work with the Death Note movie. It never would have. Definitely not the Dragon Ball movie. There's just too much plot to cram into one piece of movie. So yeah, Netflix. I'm actually really interesting because the world of Sword Art Online, while interesting, grab me much, but I am looking forward to how much they adapt it, because after a while, just admit it, it becomes a harem anime where it just becomes about him dating every single girl.
Pretty much. They should have gone with a light novel approach. I haven't read the light novels, but a friend of mine told me they never had much of that harem, or the haram thing or whatever. Haram. My bad. Yeah, they never had any harem. It was more focused on him investigating on all that, and I have to read the light novels to know that for myself. Because my friend likes to troll around, so I'm not sure if he was being serious, whether there was no harem in that. But I just want to read the light novels to know how it is.
Well, yeah, definitely. And the best part is, every day we get closer to this. We get closer to a Konosuba live action series.
Nice.
I'd like to see that happen. Anyway, speaking of adaptations set in video games world. Did any of you guys check out the new Ready Player One trailer?
Oh, I have.
Nope.
I have. They have so many video game and pop culture references in that. So many.
Just 2 words. Halo Spartans. Dude, Halo Spartans. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
There's an army of Halo Spartans just running towards the enemy. I think that's in Halo Arena. And I was like, yeah, well, you won. There's no way you can convince me to that the opponent has any chance when you have Halo Spartans on your side. You have a Gundam on your side. You're clearly riding a DeLorean. Everything is on your side. All you need is Goku, and you're sorted.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I even saw a lot. I even saw Overwatch characters, and I think other Warcraft characters.
Yeah, Tracer is there. Chun-Li is there.
Yeah, Tracer, Chun-Li. I think I even noticed. Magni Bronzebeard from World of Warcraft. I think I did notice him in the trailer.
Oh wait, I think you're talking about the trailer that came 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm not talking about the recent one. I was talking about the first trailer.
Oh yeah.
I do remember seeing a World of Warcraft character in that. I'm not 100% sure.
Yes.
But it did seem like a really cool movie. But I have a feeling it might end up, crashing down. I have a feeling. I just have a bad feeling that's going to end up crashing down pretty badly.
Even if it's crashing down, I do have faith in Steven Spielberg to at least make an entertaining movie. He is directing it.
No, that's the
I'm
thing.
assuming the only way you can get.
I mean, that's the only thing that gave me hope That's Steven Spielberg. If that name wasn't there, I would have
Yeah.
instantly decided like, okay, I'm not watching this movie. Screw that.
Yeah. By the way, I've read the book. I'm not a fan of the book because just like that and Armada are like, in my opinion, I thought they were pretty average book, but they basically elevated to pop culture legendary because it slaps you with a pop culture reference every single line.
Like every scene.
Armada, I believe, was a game. Yeah, Armada, I believe he wrote that it was a game that was designed by Hidetaka Miyazaki and every other like developer in the world and stuff like that. And it's just like, gives you this minor orgasms because you're like, oh, I get that reference and it's cool. And Steven Spielberg has just taken that to another level. He's like, hey, yeah, so what properties should I put in? Okay, can I put that in? No, I don't care. I'm Steven Spielberg. Just bring it all into this world. Like just all of you're all in this movie. Yeah, so it's going to be an event. I'm just going to say whether it's good or bad, it's going to be an event.
It's going to be, yeah. I mean,
so, what do you have to say about that? Yeah,
sounds interesting. I'll definitely have a look after all the description is given that, and yeah, that's good.
That's about it.
I mean,
I feel optimistic.
yeah,
Same here.
same. I feel. I mean, for me, I'm kind of like on the 50-50 side. I'm hoping that it doesn't crash, but I'm also hoping that it's amazing. One thing's for certain, I will not watch it first day, first show because I have no time. But I will definitely watch it nonetheless.
Yeah,
That's watching a movie
Come
with
to
such
a-
a big deal now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is actually. Coming forward to a last topic for the day, and surprisingly, it's another video game adaptation. And this one is Persona 5 just had its recent anime trailer with the English subtitles. I'm not sure if any of you had time to check it out. At least it was 1 minute long. Gave us a basic glimpse into what it's like. Ratz, you'll be interested to know it's not being directed by the studio who made the anime scenes in the game, but it will be 12 episodes, so you don't have to worry about a huge time sink crash.
Yes.
And yes, it is going to be directed by a guy who has also worked on some really weird titles like Welcome to the NHK and some very, very, very unique titles, which makes sense because Persona 5 is a very weird franchise.
It
If I had to like
is.
sell this, if I had to like explain this game to somebody, it's very weird, right? It's like imagine Spider-Man and Pokemon had a baby, and on the other side, Inception and Death Note had a baby, and these two babies had a baby together. That would be Persona 5, right?
Wow.
So just like Spider-Man, you have this like daily life going on where you go to school, you go on dates, you do all these things, you eat burgers and have just challenges and all that thing that's going on. Your daily lives are going on. It's based, unlike other games, it is set in this calendar system where you're 1 year, just like Harry Potter. Actually, you have 1 year of school and you just do daily tasks and things. At night, you become this super high like phantom thief. You this like gentleman thief kind of thing. Only thing you're stealing people's hearts. You're actually going into this metaverse, which is a Jungian archetype, which is this mind palace of a person who holds these great desires, and you basically raid the whole dungeon, which is created as a manifestation of this really evil person who has like projected like distorted reality around it. So you do that as a dungeon, and you basically steal the heart, where basically the core emotion that is driving this person. So it could be lust, it could be pride and stuff. So basically, once you steal, just like Inception, it's all in like a different reality. And once you steal that, the emotion that is driving them is gone. So all the decisions that were rooting through that, they don't have that anymore. So they pretty much reform or they mentally shut down. All right. So, and the thing is that within these palaces that you raid, you meet these enemies. These are shadows, which are like who work for the boss. These are shadows of human consciousness, and you can like turn them over towards your side with these hold-up cards and like confrontations, which Ratz will be very familiar from Undertale, which is inspired from Shin Megami Tensei, the original franchise. And you can recruit them and like Pokemon, but you have to go in these negotiations. So these shadows, which is the Jungian archetype, turn into your personas as your mask that you keep shifting towards. Instead of Pokemon, you have these personas that you keep shifting in this thing. And your archetype is the trickster. And obviously, so this is where Death Note comes. So once you have all these things where you have these the person completely reforms, you obviously gain notoriety because you don't just raid their palace and beat them. You send out calling cards like, hey, cool, like, yeah, hey, we're coming to steal your heart and stuff like that. So the Phantom Thieves gain recognition. They have their own fan site, which is called the fan site, which is called PHAN site. All right. And they gain notoriety. And just like that, there is another detective. There are a lot of mental shutdowns happening and these reformation happening at this thing. How very convenient. Who are these guys who say that they can just reform people? We need to look into this. These guys are vigilantes. They are not justice. We will have to take these guys down. There's this whole plot going on, detective chase story going on at the same time.
That's cool.
So this is Persona 5.
Okay.
And
I'm waiting for the anime.
Wow. Same here, dude.
Yeah.
Same here. Holy shit. That description.
That was good shit, yeah.
Which has me both excited and worried about Persona 5 anime because I don't think we can gather this much content in 12 episodes. I hope it's not seasonal. I hope it's season 1 is this guy, specific guy, and then season 2 slowly builds.
And you did say 12 episodes, so it's short number of episodes.
The limitation is big.
There is a limitation.
Dude,
there.
12 episodes is not even enough to show all the waifus that are there in the game. The waifu wars need to happen. You need to have the best girl.
I know who the best girl is. You don't need to tell
Oh
me.
god.
Okay.
No, you don't.
We will literally have to raid his. I wonder how his palace is gonna be. And the best part is these palaces are so if his desire is lust, you see all these distorted the way he sees the students, right? He sees them in a mill because he sees them as servants. They're running on this treadmill full of spikes, and the statues are just nothing but boobs and butts, and it's really twisted things that are a manifestation of his desire. And you have to check it out.
Nice.
So yeah, very interesting. Persona 5 anime, I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it more than any video game adaptation of a movie so far, except Mortal Kombat. That thing is legendary. So this is something that I believe everybody should be having on the radar. It releases on April. So yeah, keep your calendar on the lookout.
That's damn near. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
April, that's actually coming soon. Peace.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And
we're meeting in April. Hey.
Yeah.
That's it. And that concludes all our topics for the day.
Yeah. Also, one thing has been bugging me. Udit, why is your name Ren? Why is your in-game name Ren?
Now that you go for it. So, again, as you might be knowing, I kind of like Persona 5.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of.
I mean, not kind
Kind
I
of.
mean, kind of. I mean,
That's
the definition of kind of is, different from our definition, of course.
Yeah, so, and Persona 5 currently initially had a manga which non-canonically had the name called of the main character called Akira Kurusu. I believe Akira was a reference to, by the way, did you know Persona 5's main character is very heavily influenced from Devilman. The first few scenes are straight up ripped off from the first episode of Devilman.
You did mention this during our Devilman shit posting time.
So, right. So, later on in the anime, they canonically gave him a name whose name is Ren Amamiya. And the jokes are going to keep starting. But yeah.
that last name, dude. Amamiya. It's like, Mamma Mia, oh Mamacita, Mamma Mia. You could make a freaking song out of this.
So I wanted to keep because I love the main character is so cool, but I was definitely not going to use the surname Mia at all.
Otherwise, you'd be Italian.
So I stuck with Ren. Yeah, so I stuck with Ren, and because it's a pun with Senpai, my username on Discord is Senpai. So that's how it came. Renpai.
That's
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So I was like, fucking nerd.
Soham must be like, okay, my name is very generic. It's nightmare shit.
It's nightmare.
It's nightmare. It's a generic.
You know where it comes from.
Yeah. Most people will be thinking it's from Kylo Ren. No, it's not from Kylo Ren. I do think.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm not gonna put my name after him.
It's from Red. Mamma Mia. Hey, Mamma
Well, it's not that.
So that does it for the topics. Do we have time for sell a product, or should we just end it?
I think it's.
No, we should just.
This is a recording, so I mean, you guys, this is not live. You're not looking at nothing. No chats. This is done. Get bamboozled.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you want to market your cap. which I suppose we should.
No, are you guys interested in sell a product? We can do that. Otherwise,
I think it's much more fun to do that in a live audience. Like personally, that's what
Yeah.
I feel. Because
Yeah,
the
man,
live
let's just
audience
go with
themselves
it.
can also give their reactions, and we can actually respond to those reactions, and give our own reactions. So it's like reaction to reaction to a reaction. You guys get the
reaction
gist.
to reaction to reaction to
Yeah.
reaction. Got it.
Basically, the
Okay,
five.
so we'll just
Yeah, it's basically the five
Yeah,
brothers
yeah.
with the Inception, and then they made a baby, basically.
babies all around.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that does it for a podcast, the 11th podcast and the offline one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope we brought something to the table. We tried to listen to your feedback. I hope you like the new format. Let us know in the comments below, if you would like it offline, because I know a lot of people can't watch such long content without being at 1.25 or at least 1.5 C speed. Especially Soham, who has not watched any of our podcasts. Just
Come
for
on.
so, anyway, thank you for watching. We hope to see you next Sunday,
Thank you.
same time. And
Yes.
Soham, Ratz, before you sign off, you got anything to say?
Yeah, no, this is Soham sign off. I guess that's about it.
Don't forget to join the Discord.
Soham, just a Soham sign
I
off.
mean, this is gonna be my.
It's been a pleasure to be part of this amazing happening. Thank you
No,
for
that's not
the
necessary.
opportunity. Go ahead,
That's not
Ash.
necessary. You have your own podcast, by the way.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So okay. So
Do watch that.
my final words for this podcast would be: check out the Discord channel, check out Asidcast Facebook page and YouTube page, and of course I'm gonna be shameless and plug myself in. Check me out on Facebook and YouTube. It's RATZ1994. Hey.
But he's not going to be on Twitch. Not until they get the shit.
Not
Not until they
Not until
fix
he's
that.
con-
Not
Not
until-
until he's.
I mean,
Okay.
you guys can join my Twitch if you want to. It's the same username, but hey, I mean, I'm just having fun there. It's nothing serious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Alright.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Stay together. Stay hydrated. Watch Black
Like,
Panther.
share,
and then-
subscribe.